the representative of Sweden. I shall now give the floor to the representative of Russia.
Thank you, Mr. President. We were unable to support the draft resolution that has been drafted by the United Kingdom. Our principled and duly justified remarks were not taken into account. The sponsors incorporated a provision in the resolution, a provision which establishes sexual and gender-based violence as a standalone criterion for the imposition of sanctions, and yet such action fully aligns with relevant criteria for listings criteria. The presence of precedents in Central African and South Sudanese sanctions committees does not imply that this practice needs to automatically apply to all country-specific country situations. Each situation is unique. The gender component is unjustifiably emerging in the work of the panel of experts of Security Council Committee 1970. This would distract those specialists from their direct obligations. The resolution is adopted under Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, pursuant to which the Security Council identifies the presence of threats to international peace and security and introduces resolutions on the measures to be adopted. This constitutes the main prerogative of the Security Council. The issue of sexual violence is considered at specialized platforms, for example, at the UN Human Rights Council or the UN Commission on the Status of Women. It is important to adhere to the relevant division of labor. Otherwise, instead of conflict resolution, the Security Council will have to track down violators and those perpetrating violence and to reason with domestic tyrants. Sexual and gender-based violence is among the components of a general crime in any specific country. For example, open source data refers to the fact that in Sweden, there has been a sustained growth in instances of sexual violence. And in the Netherlands, the indicator for violence against women is among the highest in the European Union. The struggle against such crimes, above all, is within the remit of national governments. Measures through the international community need to be subsidiary in nature, auxiliary in nature. We are under the impression that the countries who are pushing through this issue into the Security Council's agenda are attempting to gain a domestic political capital through the imposition of sanctions regimes against other states. Nobody considered whether this imposition of Security Council, whether there will be imposition of Security Council sanctions against specific individuals for sexual violence in Libya, whether this will have an impact in terms of preventing such crimes in that country. Such an approach is populism distilled to its purest form. The facts of such crimes perpetrated against migrants in Libya only confirm our premise that the most effective means of combating this scourge is eradicating the relevant criminal networks. Everything, including the information from the panel of experts, points to the fact that the footsteps lead to countries of destination of migrants, above all, Europe. However, we have not seen a desire of the European countries to impose Security Council sanctions against their own criminal authorities. Sir, just recently, when there was an extension of the mandate of the UN mission for the conduct of a referendum in Western Sahara, we referred to abuse by pen holders of specific issues on the Security Council agenda. Today's case also attests to destructive working methods of the sponsors of the draft, as they are not striving to have a consensus-based document be adopted. The pen holdership mechanism is in need of major changes. Thank you for your attention.
I thank the representative of